From the Bronc Radio Studios in Edinburgh, it's the Bronc Sports Report. Hey, what's up, everyone? I'm Marianne Garcia, and I've got your Bronc Sports Report. This week, we've got your wrap-up for the past week's Bronc basketball games, plus a preview of this weekend's NBA All-Star Game. But first,
your UTPA Broncs hosted defending Western Athletic Conference basketball champs New Mexico State Aggies, but fell short 78-61. Guard Javon Farrell led the Broncs with 19 points, and forward Shaquille Hines added 13, but it wasn't enough. The Aggies guard Daniel Mullings had 18 points, and center Sim Bular chipped in 15. Bular was one of 4 Aggies that were 6'10" and taller, helping out-rebound the Broncs 31-19. Next up for the men's team is a trip to Bakersfield to take on the Roadrunners. On the women's side, they traveled to Las Cruces taking on New Mexico State Lady Aggies and fell 83-71. Junior forward Brittany Bush had 16 points and 17 rebounds, almost leading the Broncs to a comeback victory, but the Lady Aggies prevailed. Your Broncs host Bakersfield Roadrunners this Thursday at the UTPA Fieldhouse at 7 p.m. For Bronc Radio Sports, I'm Nancy Boteo.
The Broncs basketball team kicked off the 2014 season on Friday, February 14th, against Texas A&M Corpus Christi Islanders in dramatic fashion. Local PSJA grad Brian Ramirez hit a 2-run home run in the bottom of the 7th inning to get the Broncs the lead 3-2. Opening day starter Sam Street pitched 7 solid innings, allowing only 6 hits and 1 walk to get the win. The two teams resumed the 4-game series on Saturday with a doubleheader and cap off the series on Sunday, all here at Edinburgh Baseball Stadium. On Thursday, February 13th, your University of Texas Pan American Broncs took on Chicago State Cougars here at the UTPA Fieldhouse, and the team gave the hometown crowd something to cheer about as Shaquille Boga hit a 3-pointer with 18 seconds left to win the game 71-68. The Broncs backcourt of Shaq Boga and Javorn Farrell each had 16 points and 4 assists to lead the team to victory. Senior forward Josh Cleveland also had 13 points and 9 rebounds in the victory. The Broncs play again this Saturday in the homecoming game against Kansas City. Doors open at 7 and the tailgating starts at 3 o'clock in the Fieldhouse parking lot. The women's Bronc basketball team continues its historic run as they defeated Chicago State Cougars 75-52 in Chicago. Junior forward Brittany Bush led the way with 16 points and 8 rebounds. The Broncs backcourt of junior guard Tanisha Walker and sophomore guard Kaylin Boyd combined for 23 points and 6 assists. The Broncs have now tied for the best start in program history through 24 games. They take the court again this Saturday at 2 p.m. when they visit Kansas City. For Bronc Radio Sports, I'm Daniel Morales.
The NBA All-Star Weekend in New Orleans is coming up. With the amount of All-Stars joining in, it's shaping up to be a good one. Here we go! The weekend kicks off on Friday night with the Celebrity All-Star Game, but the real fun starts Saturday with the Rising Stars Game, the Skills Challenge, 3-point shootout, and the Dunk Contest. And finally, Sunday night, the All-Star Game. The Dunk Contest has the most All-Stars in it since 1988 with Paul George, John Wall, and Damian Lillard. Lillard is the overachiever of the weekend, participating in a record of 5 events: the All-Star Game, the Rising Star Game, the Skills Challenge, the 3-point contest, and the Dunk Contest. The starting lineups for the All-Star Game are, from the West, Kevin Durant, Blake Griffin, Stephen Curry, Kevin Love, and Kobe Bryant. Kobe will be inactive and Anthony Davis will take his place. And the starters from the East, LeBron James, Paul George, Carmelo Anthony, Dwayne Wade, and Kyrie Irving. From Bronc Radio Sports, I'm David Sullivan.
here's a look back at some stories from the past couple of weeks. Our sports guy, Dan the Man, was almost too lazy to put out.
Denver Broncos quarterback Peyton Manning received his 5th NFL MVP award after a record-setting year throwing for 55 touchdowns and 5,477 yards, and leading the Broncos to the AFC's best record and a Super Bowl appearance. The Carolina Panthers grabbed 2 major awards, with Ron Rivera winning the AP NFL Coach of the Year and linebacker Luke Kuechly voted as the Defensive Player of the Year. Rivera engineered the Panthers' turnaround from a 7-9 record to a 12-4 record, the NFC South title, and a first-round playoff bye. Kuechly defense had allowed 241 points, less than every team except for the NFC champion Seattle Seahawks. Green Bay Packers running back Eddie Lacy and Jets defensive tackle Sheldon Richardson were the top rookies for 2013, with Lacy winning Offensive Rookie of the Year and Richardson winning the Defensive Rookie of the Year. San Diego Chargers quarterback Phillip Rivers took home the Comeback Player of the Year award. Rivers led the Chargers to a wildcard playoff spot with 4 straight victories to close out the schedule. He led the league with a 69.5 completion percentage and threw for 32 touchdowns against 11 receptions. Well, that does it for this year's awards. For Bronc Radio Sports, I am Javi Guerrero.
Well, football fans, the Super Bowl finally came. All the hype and excitement, here we go! The tone for the game was set on the first snap. The ball flew over Peyton for the fastest score in Super Bowl history for Seattle safety. It didn't get much better for the Broncos, with the relentless Seattle #1 defense forcing 4 turnovers on the #1 offense. Manning, this season's MVP, didn't play like it in this one. He threw for only 280 yards and a touchdown. Peyton also threw 2 costly picks, one going to the Super Bowl MVP, Malcolm Smith, who took it to the house with a 69-yard return. Smith also finished with 10 tackles and a fumble recovery. The Seahawks seemed to be unstoppable, with Wilson throwing for 2 TDs, Lynch rushing for a touchdown, and Percy Harvin opening the second half with a kick return for a TD. Overall, Seattle dominated and brought the Lombardi Trophy home with them for the first time, winning 43-8. From Bronc Radio Sports, I'm David Sullivan.
Hey fellow Broncs, here are some interesting tidbits on the Super Bowl 48. First off, the average price for a ticket to attend the Super Bowl ran at an estimated price of $3,400, $1,500 being the cheapest ticket available, and a jaw-dropping $719,000 for the most expensive. An estimated 82,525 rabid football fans attended the Super Bowl, and 100 million viewers around the world tuned in to watch the game. Of course, there will be no Super Bowl without commercial break, so let's jump right into the price tags. This Super Bowl featured nearly 50 commercials that cost advertisers a record of $4 million per 30-second slot, meaning advertisers spent $1,333 per second for an airtime. Wow, now that's some serious cash. One of the big winners from the Super Bowl 48 was Raji Suri's, who directed the Time Machine commercial for Doritos' annual Super Bowl ad competition. The commercial only cost $200 to produce, and as the winner, Suri's received $1 million. For Bronc Radio Sports, this is Ashley Hernandez.
Well, that's it for this week's report. I would like to thank everyone in Bronc Radio for making this possible. And don't forget, if you're interested in becoming a member, stop by one of our meetings every Thursday in the communication studio in front of the library, or check us out at blogs.utpa.edu/BRTV. Go Bronx!